It's very interesting. When I travel all over the country, the southeastern United States for my job, and whenever I say I'm from this area, people say, man, y'all got some great football talent that has come out of that area. They say something in that water down there. But the 252 is, you know, we may not realize it because we're here all the time, but you travel out of this area, people have a lot of respect for the 252 and the football talent that has come out of this area. Division I talent, NFL talent is big time around here, and we don't need to sleep on that. With that being said, our main event tonight is moderated by the one and only larger-than-life figure, News Channel 12 Sports Director, Mr. Brian North, who started his career here at Channel 12 when I was at New Bern High School. Mr. Brian North, would you please come forward? Your moderator, Mr. Brian North, in the house.
I can't believe you made a fat joke, larger than life. We all gain a little weight as life goes on. Yeah, no, I'd avoided it tonight. I am not in shape for training camp this year. I got to double down on two-a-days here. So, yeah, this is year number, what? This doesn't sound impressive when Brian Bailey's in the back of the room, but year number 29 for me here, covering high school football. So, I've been a few years, and it's funny to see the Sasser girls as I knew them back in the day, and Wilbur and all those great memories with him, because he was so much fun to be around. And that's what I always loved about football, was Wilbur talking with Clay Jordan, you throw in Chip Williams, and those coaches were around forever. One of the coolest things that ever happened to me was Wilbur's last game. He announced his retirement. He goes, hey, want to come in the locker room and hear my pregame speech? Yeah, you know, I mean, I still get goosebumps thinking about it and how fired up he got that team. And it was good. And, you know, then I used to see him do the car salesman thing for a while and had his name in neon. But he'd always show up at the games. We'd always have a good time. And he could tell a story like anybody. But it's those bonds you have, those coaches. And now we have all new coaches that are coming through here, it feels like. Gosh, this is year number 5. Do we have? I don't think we have anybody from the original coaches panel, right? It's all different coaches that we have here. So that's kind of the turnover in the day and age of portal life now and NIL life now. So, but this is an opportunity to get to know people and establish those relationships that you can talk about 29 years down the road. So, let's keep this thing moving because no one wants to hear old man stories here. So we are going to first get the 80s up here to talk about some flag football, because one of the fastest growing sports in the country is girls flag football. So let's get the ADs up here who have flag football aspirations, because it is now an NCHSAA recognized sport. And again, growing very quickly here. And she has a chance to be on the Olympic team next year. So that'd be really cool to have the initial flag football champions of the world, to have somebody from Eastern North Carolina. All right, we've got Bobby Griffin, we've got April Rose, we've got David Fernandez, we've got Coach Wiggins, and we've got Coach Hardy that are all up here, all representing their schools. And I'm just going to pass the mic down through for you, because I know some are going to have girls flag football, some are not. And yeah, right, and that's okay, because we're going to learn this, because this first year we're trying to figure it all out. It was club teams. Last year we had these Saturday games, and so now just where does everybody stand school-wise? Pass the mic down on where you are with girls flag football. No.
So we started last year. We were part of the club team in Pitt County, and we played with Craven County and Beaufort County schools and Greene County schools. So we are going to participate in the school sanctioned sport this year. We're actually in a conference with West Craven, Northside, Pinetown, Southside, North Johnston, and Washington High School. So we're going to take it and see what happens. But I'm looking forward to it. Myself and Coach Akins and Coach Richards are coaching it together. We did a great job last year. It was a lot of fun. And so we're going to take the girls and get them started on August 31st. So, yep, we're going to have it.
West Craven, we're going to definitely try. We're still looking for a coach. If anybody in the community wants to step up. But we're, like Coach Rose said, we were in a club type thing the last 2 years. It worked out well. Then when the NCHSA kind of made it that real sport this year, it kind of messed with the timing and things like that with fall sports. So we're definitely going to try. We've had a lot of success with it the last 2 years. So, but now with kind of the date changes and things, we'll see how that works out. But yeah, we're definitely going to give it a try and see where it goes.
At Havelock, we're gonna see. We're looking for a coach. Coach Wooten, Coach Akins is coaching, so we're looking for a coach. Once we get a coach, then we for sure will have a team. But you know, we were in the club team last year with Pamlico and West Craven. The girls loved it, but we gotta have a coach first.
I think what a lot of these coaches are expressing is that the move to the fall has created tremendous logistical difficulties. New Bern intends to have it. We think we have a coach that's interested building a schedule, all of that in the fall, especially starting August 31st instead of July 29th, has created some challenges with students trying to play multiple sports and things like that. So just be patient and understand that there are a lot of logistical challenges that come with this sport for all of these schools, but we're excited to be a part of it. We're certainly, most of us, pushing to be a part of it and excited about what the future holds for that sport. It's certainly growing very quickly, as Mr. North said.
So I've learned the NCHSAA screwed something up again. Coach Akins is going to take on like his 15th job of the year, right? Because he's already doing football and landscaping and doing all these other things. All right. Sandy is probably looking for a job, Coach Fernandez, if you need a coach there. And Bobby, it's going to happen one day. Embrace it now. We're going to have to keep you out. One more quick question for you guys as you go through the logistics of starting a sport like this. The challenges are there. It's like football, but you're talking about all the challenges you have, numbers, who's playing what. What are some of the biggest challenges you have of starting up this sport now that it's NCHSA?
Well, when you include men's volleyball in the mix as well, one of the things that I'm sure all of these folks face is the tremendous cost of high school athletics. Most people falsely sit on an idea that athletic departments in the high school level are sitting on the kind of money that colleges do. We just don't. We don't. We're break-even programs. I think all of us would probably share that. And then you add 2 sports to that. You're talking about more bus mileage. You're talking about having to find a coach. And when it was in the wintertime, you could easily find a football coach that would step up and do it. Now it's in the fall, so you've got to find somebody that's presumably not on a football coaching staff to do that. And plus, you have to now deal with girls who were able to participate in a winter activity, who maybe are playing volleyball or women's tennis or something like that, running cross country. And certainly you can try to do 2 sports at one time, and there are coaches and teams that are able to make that work, but you know, you're giving half of yourself to 2 things instead of your whole self to one thing, so it puts children in a position where they have to choose. And some of those children are going to choose to do another sport, so we all have to find out whether we have enough student athletes to have the sport, whether we have a coach that's able to do it, that has enough experience to be trusted with those children. And then on top of that, the 2 more teams of cost that comes along. And so I think we're all going to try to make that happen, and we're excited for that challenge, but be sure there are challenges there.
A lot of the people in West Craven know I'm a big Kansas City Chiefs fan, but if you're local, I really appreciate the Carolina Panthers, and I think what they do for the state and for high school athletics and communities. They've chipped in and they've given $1,500 a year the last 2 years so that we could try to offset some costs with girls flag football. And in fact, when it went sanctioned this year, they still said, we'll kind of backtrack on what we said and we'll help you out again. So the Carolina Panthers have been very, out forefront in trying to push the sport in the state and helping us to the best of their abilities. They were able to supply us with 18 uniforms. So the last 2 years we've had a couple girls more than 18. But one thing the Carolina Panthers do also tout with their numbers is that their analytics stuff, that a lot of the girls that play also may not play another sport. And so I think we think of it athletically and competitively, we want the best out there, and we want to compete for championships and that kind of thing. But this sport is also allowing some girls that may not have played any other sport to come out and start something anew. They don't have to worry about what the past successes or failures may or may not have been, because they can generate that. They can start that from scratch. They can, leave their mark on their sport at their school. And so we're hopeful that with this time change, because we're probably just like everybody else, have had a lot of two-way players, volleyball players, cheerleaders, whatever, that might not be the case this year because of the time frame. Well, the Panthers are also tout numbers. This might give some of them girls that haven't done anything, if we go out and beat the hallways a little bit, an opportunity to come in and, for their own right, see what Friday nights is like for them, and just we'll just see where it goes.
I think the amount of scholarships that are out there now for these young ladies is like astronomical. I've had numerous coaches emailing me about our team last year. It was the first year. I actually had my very first athlete signed to go play at Greensboro College this spring. So she's our first, our pilot athlete. It was our pilot team, but a lot of my girls are getting these college letters. So I think it is an opportunity for them to, like Coach Fernandez said, just to get out and try something new. And they might not be great at anything else, but these colleges are trying to snatch them up and start programs as well. So it's a big positive, and it can be, and I think it will continue to be.
We still in there. No, we would like to in Jones County, but our biggest obstacle is just the number of students we have in our student body. I think we're around 240 kids at high school level. So I think last year in the wintertime, we had thoughts about starting it up, but once we got moved to the fall, we didn't want volleyball players to have to make that choice of making that decision of going both ways. Not to get it, Pamlico with girls going both ways with volleyball and flag.
Guglielmo, fun fact, Dom and I grew up in the same area, literally like 10 miles, 15 miles apart. We know each other. I'm his mom's age, but that's a whole other thing. So. But it was kind of cool. I'm probably the only person in the room that stepped foot on the football field that he's playing, so that's kind of cool. So we welcome you to this big forum. This is kind of a cool thing for us that we do to kick off the season here. So let's get started. I'm going to start with the old guys at the end. I'll give you a chance to work on your answers here. As we come back here again, we'll start with Mr. Brent Wooten, the better looking of the Wooten twins, as he likes to tell us every year. Just tell us what you got coming back this year, Coach, and your thoughts on the season.
Well, we're pretty excited this year. At any given point last year, we had 13 9th or 10th graders on the field, and typically that's not where we're at. So it's nice to have that experience back. We brought a couple of seniors with us tonight that really have grown a lot in the program in the last 4 years. But in the last couple of days, we started to go through numbers on the field. We have close to 100 kids total. We're picking back up from where we were a few years ago. So we're super excited to get going, and you can't wait for tomorrow.
Same. We're very excited about getting going. Numbers are down a little bit this year. We're probably around 75 athletes out right now. We're excited about the group of kids though that we do have coming back. This group it's not an experienced group, but it's another group, and they've shown tremendous growth over the last 6-7 months. We started back in January when we hit the weight room really, really hard. And a lot of our kids have really grown in that time frame.
At Pamlico, we're very much looking forward to the season. We had a lot of underclassmen last year play significant time. So we graduated, we're a small school. We graduated 4 guys last year that contributed. And so a majority of the defense and offense is back, which gives us a great chance to build upon all the success that we saw week to week last year. It might not have been reflected in the win-loss record, but going into this season, these guys have experience. We have another year under our belt being in the weight room. Coach Richards runs our weight room. He does an excellent job. The guys have committed to the track, and we're really looking forward to what they have to offer. So very, very excited for Pamlico.
Yeah, so with Jones Senior, as Coach Griffin kind of alluded to, you know, we struggle year to year with numbers. But one thing we were really excited about is almost 100% of our football players are dual sport athletes. Some of them are 3-sport athletes. So, you know, not necessarily being able to have contact with them and work out like we want to with football in the spring, but seeing they're active on the track, they're playing baseball, they're active, was big for us. And going into this season, we knew we have a decent sized rising senior class. So a lot of these kids, and I'm excited about it, are, you know, kids that I've been coaching now for up to 6 years, from their middle school all the way up to high school now. So really excited about the season and see the growth and what's to come.
So West Craven, I new kid on the block. I couldn't be more proud of our kids this summer. Strong numbers for us, between 70 and 80 kids. Naturally, when you're coming off a 12 and 2 year senior loaded, we've got some young spots on the field, and we're returning some great seniors and great juniors that play a lot of football. Got some young kids that have really stepped up this summer. I think our strength right now is our senior leadership. I mean, we brought 2 with us today. It's going to be an exciting year. Again, for me, being the new kid on the block again, I couldn't be more proud of our kids, and go Eagles.
All right, we're going to do a quick rapid fire here. I'm going to give each one of you one question. We won't ask the same question of everybody. We will be here all night, and I've got to get up at 2:30 in the morning again. So let's start with you, Coach Googs. As we learn about you, who is your coaching mentor, and where did you get your coaching philosophy from?
I'm going to use my high school head coach, Pat Lilac. He's going into, I think, his 28th year as head football coach.
Glens Falls.
Glens Falls High School, Black Bears now. Coach Lilac was a phenomenal football coach, and not only because we won football games, multiple state champion head coach, but he taught us the process. And the little things lead to the big things, and if you do all the little things right, the wins come. And taught us how to be leaders and all of that. So a lot of the stuff that we do is modeled after what Coach Lilac did with us, and I couldn't be more thankful that I could call him. Probably right now he'd be mad at me because he's probably eating dinner with his family, but he'd answer. But he's one of the best in the business. So go Black Bears, I guess.
All right, Stephen, talk about building a program. You've had one of the biggest challenges out here with your squad, almost losing football, going to 8-man, now coming back to 11-man last year. How do you build a program? What's your philosophy and the challenges that you've been going through with that?
Yeah, so my biggest philosophy with that is being very community oriented. Over the last couple weeks, I actually went out into the community, met with business leaders, owners, churches, organizers, anybody in the community who's willing to listen and push and knock that door, beat the door down, really. You know, the saying is the squeaky wheel gets the grease. I made them think I needed a whole new wheel bearing. I'm an automotive teacher, in case you couldn't tell. So, but no, I mean, just starting at, you know, grassroots, right? Starting at the base, which is, I'm here to serve the community, the kids that are in it. So finding a way to make that connection with the community and let them know, hey, like, we're all a part of this. It's, you know, it's not just a county, it's a community. That's, you know, us and Pamlico, the only ones really in this area where we're that unique of we're one high school that serves an entire county. We're smaller, but we're here to serve them as the community, serve their children, and help them meet all their needs.
All right, you have a tough question with lots of changes going on at your school. Still should be able to play football there. Concession stand's very important. What's the best thing you guys serve at your concession stand that you have to get if you go to Bayboro?
Without a doubt, popcorn. Best around, you're not going to get any better. No question. No question.
All right, Coach Saxby, let's talk about, I know I asked you this last year, you gave such a good answer, we're going to do it again. NIL creeping into high school sports now. Usually it's just the cream of the crop that get it, but we're starting to see players in the East being coveted by other places and other people. We're seeing transfers seem to be happening a little bit more now. Your philosophy on dealing with the almost professional aspect that kids are starting to seek younger and younger now at the scholastic level.
Yeah, it's a little difficult because you start losing, you know, the amateurism early, you know, and it's trickling down into high schools. especially me being in kind of getting into that older coaching range, you're used to things to be in a certain way where it was amateur sports, where it was more about the fun of the game and enjoying it, being out there with your buddies, and now it's turning into a business, and kids are being coveted, recruited, transferring, and you know it's kind of a sticky situation because you know you really don't know who's reaching out to who as far as kids go, who's kind of putting up the bill for the kid, and you know, I mean, it's one of those deals where you know somehow, some way, we have to kind of find a solution to this problem because it is a problem and it's only getting worse to the point where when high school kids, it's not going to be as fun as probably when we played it because these kids start having to thinking about, well, I can actually feed my family, I can help mom and dad, and when you think about it in that aspect, do you blame the kid if someone really, you know, can change their parents' life, you know, but there has to be a fine line, and I think it starts with the North Carolina Athletic Association. They have to kind of draw the line somewhere, and hopefully once you draw that line, then you can start kind of putting guidelines in place to kind of maybe slow this growing thing down, but you know, as much as we want to think that it's not happening, it's happening, and it's all over in every state. And like I said, it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better unless we figure out something.
We'll keep the serious discussion going for one more question. This is Coach Wooten's UNC grad. He's probably the smartest guy in the room. Not because you went to UNC, but you are the smartest guy. Mental health is another big discussion that we have. And I saw something on Facebook the other day where a pediatrician was wanting to get out. He used to treat, many years ago, broken bones and bruises and cuts. Now he teaches, he tries to help with anxiety and mental struggles and all that. As a coach, how do you recognize and deal with those things with players as the mental aspects seem to have changed through the years?
You know, kind of to piggyback on what Coach actually said, when I was growing up, you played football with your friends because it was fun. You know, you wanted to compete, you wanted to win games, but, you know, you had fifth quarter at a local church and you hung out on Saturday morning, and it was all about the community at that time. And I think now a lot of these young men are facing the pressure of, you know, as sad as it is, like a lot of adults' livelihood are based on does their high school football team win a game on Friday night, and some of these kids face a lot of stress because of that, and it's tough. As a coach, you got to be able to recognize, I mean, if you look your kids in your eyes and you actually talk to them, you know if they're having a good day or a bad day or kind of what they're going through. Not even just the stress of football, the stress of, you know, academics or family. Like there's a lot of things going through in these young men's lives that if you don't ask questions, if you don't talk to them, you don't know. So I think as adults, it's our responsibility to recognize what these kids need, not just athletically, but academically and socially as well. So it's a lot of pressure on us. I can understand why medical professionals are kind of frustrated with the situation right now. You know, but I feel like that's, and I've been coaching, this is my 25th year, I feel like that's the biggest change is recognizing that it's going from a game to now a lot of the pressures that these kids face for many different reasons, and just being able to evaluate when they need the extra help and the extra attention and the extra discussion.
Biggest things you're going to have to replace, the biggest atmosphere at Wilbur Sasser Field. You're going to have a new band director this year.
You know, it's crazy. I think he's more important than I am on Friday nights. I think our principal would argue that he's probably the most important person in our school. I mean, George Benitez is Havelock, you know, music. And you know what? I look forward to our first Friday night. I feel like the more pressure is on this dial than me. So for the first time on a Friday night opening game, I feel like I'm going to have less pressure than somebody at Sasser Field.
It's true. There's going to be some pressure in that corner of the stadium. Coach Saxby, scheduling was an interesting thing for you last year. You played one of the top teams in the country. This year, slightly changed the schedule a little bit here. Just talk about the scheduling aspect that you look forward to. I know these schedules are set a couple years in advance, but talk about how you schedule and how you do what's best for your team and try to anticipate the best challenges for your team.
Yeah, so Originally, when the new realignment came out last year, we were scrambling trying to find games. And so last year we were lucky enough to, lucky enough to schedule Huff High School out of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools. And for our kids, I think that the experience of understanding, like, this is kind of one of the nationally ranked teams, this is a team, and and if you watch the film as a coach, we know we competed well against them. But there was, you could just tell that there were some athletic differences in our kids. And the idea was they were supposed to come back and kind of repay that and come to Craven County and play us this year. And, I've had several coaches say, Coach, we were looking forward to just coming to that game, to kind of seeing, what it looks like in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg area, one of the top schools in the country. And we were looking forward to competing against them. They backed out, so they broke contract this year and kind of put us in a bind again. So we went searching, once again to find someone to play. And luckily we just, I picked up the phone, kind of called my old stomping ground a little bit, and they agreed that, hey, they wouldn't mind coming to us. So it's still going to be, I think, a big game. But like I said, we schedule that way on purpose is because we want our kids to compete against the best. We want them to put their best foot forward and prove that, like you said earlier, that Craven County, there's a lot of really good football players in this area, and especially, in this county, I know for sure, because you have to come to play every single day.
Brandon, second year as a head coach. Saw you yelling a lot last year at referees. Stephen Clayton wants to know why you yelled at him so much, number one. And number two, how do you know when to yell at a referee and know when to not yell at a referee so loudly?
I was telling them I thought they did a great job. So when it comes to the officials, I think, this is an emotional game played by emotional men. The coaches, we've all, been in situations in games where, you become a little bit reactionary, right? Rather than, being able to think through the process of what's going on and is it beneficial to, attack this official. It's probably not going to be beneficial in any way, right? So at the end of the day, I try to remind myself constantly that these individuals, they give a Friday night to come out to be a part of what we're trying to do in the community. And, they're on the same team as us at the end of the day. And are they going to make bad calls? Well, of course they are. We all know they are. I've seen some pretty remarkable calls be made. And, but at the same time, and my coaching staff, we talk about this all the time, I have never seen an official change his mind when we're yelling at him. You know what I mean? It just isn't going to happen. So, you try to do the best you can with what you get, and, they're going to maybe not make great calls sometimes, and I'm not going to make great calls sometimes. Coach Rich is on down the line. So at the end of the day, we're all human. Just try to, have that understanding of, where they're coming from, and, we got to get the game and play it. We got to get moving. So as long as I get an explanation, we can, maybe not see eye to eye. Let's go to the next play and just, try to keep that mentality of, the game is still here. We're never going to let it come down to the officials deciding a game, right? If we're allowing that, then we didn't do our job at the end of the day. So try to keep it, as mutually beneficial to each other as we can. You know what I mean?
One of the biggest, and I mean that in all forms, biggest Carolina Hurricane fans this year. What did you learn about the Carolina Hurricanes' run to a Stanley Cup title that you will use as a head coach this year?
So Rod Brennamore, for those who don't know, the head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes. So Rod Brennamore, I'm very big on his coaching style, and you hear a lot from the players, and you got to think these are guys who are getting paid millions of dollars to play a sport who have to listen to a guy yell at him. But Rod Brennamore coaches a family style of play. He's very big on, this is our house, we have to protect our house. this is our team, this is our family, and that's what I love, pulling from Rod Brennamore as a coach, and then seeing the relationships, the friendships that get built from professional athletes. I mean, you hear a lot of professional athletes across all sports, not just hockey, football, basketball, baseball, that they got burnt out with a team. They didn't like the atmosphere. Thankfully, Carolina Hurricanes had a guy like that. They traded him, and we won a Stanley Cup. We don't talk about Mikko Rantanen, if you know who I'm talking about. But nevertheless, it's one of those, kind of like with our program, I want guys who want to be in my locker room. I want guys who want to be a part of something that's bigger than just themselves. And if you can't put yourself aside and look at the bigger picture of the team, this isn't the place for you, regardless of how bad I need the numbers. You can be my best athlete. If you have an attitude, this is not the place for you.
Dominic Guglielmo, one of the things, you were hired a little bit late in the process. You had to stay in Illinois, Missouri. Same thing for us over here in East North Carolina. But you had to stay there a little bit longer. But one of the things we saw was you were embraced by the Vanceboro community. Clay Jordan, who's the field is named after, I know you spent a lot of time with him. What have you learned in your short time about the culture in Vanceboro and the people who came before you? And how much does that mean to you as you try to put your own name on this program?
First, as soon as I got hired, and shout out to Mr. Fernandez, tricked him on that one, but Vanceboro was, the whole West Craven High School community, all 440 square miles of it was awesome. They brought me in physically and emotionally and found me a place to live and taught me the ropes. And like Clay Jordan's on staff, and how blessed are you that you get to ask a Hall of Fame coach who's the stadium's named after a question about how do I do this? And I think one of the big things was the staff. We retained a lot of the coaches from last year, and they're phenomenal. We did a little bit of restructuring in that staff too, but they kind of quickly taught me the ropes before we even got here. I mean, I know he doesn't want me to shout him out, but Coach Fitch is back there. And as I'm finishing up in Missouri and then starting in North Carolina, I'm like, we talked every day. I'm like, hey, what do we got to do about this? Like, how many pads do we have? Oh, we got to talk to Fernandez about ordering pads. Like, that kind of stuff. So as soon as I stepped foot in Vanceboro, I mean, someone from Vanceboro came to Missouri, packed that stuff up, and then moved me to West Craven. Like, you can't beat that. I know everybody here is going to say the same thing, but I'm the luckiest guy on stage. Like, you can't beat it. So it wasn't like a move where you don't know anybody. By the time I got there, my stuff was at my house, and people from all over were welcoming me in, bringing me to church, taking me to Veers, and figuring out that Veers has a great chicken sandwich with a small fry for $8. And so I didn't skip a beat. And I was blessed at the school I was at, but I'm even more blessed to be here.
All right, thank you, coaches. We're going to do the, go ahead and give a round of applause.
So they're definitely a little bit nervous because they thought they were going later in the program. So good job on that. Good job on that. Knock it out. So this is Caleb Paul and Jacob Bennett. Jacob is a junior. Caleb, rising senior. Caleb plays inside linebacker for us. He kind of plays a little bit of whatever we need on offense. Jacob's going to play outside linebacker / safety, so he's like a strong safety on defense, and plays running back for us. So both of these young men are the epitome of what it means to be a Pamlico Hurricane. Ever since I was fortunate enough to take the job at Pamlico, these two guys have done everything we've asked. They might not be the loudest guys, the most vocal guys, but they lead, right? They lead by their actions, and they really represent what it means to be a Hurricane. So whether it's in the weight room, on the track, after practice, getting the team together after the coaches are starting to move on, they're living up the expectation of what we need as a program, as a community, right? So we say protect the county. And when we say protect the county, that doesn't mean just on Friday night on the field, right? Protect the county is, who are you when you're walking through Walmart, right? Who are you when you're in the classroom? Who are you when you're in the community on Sunday, right? Whatever it is you're doing, and you are fortunate enough to wear this jersey and it says Pamlico, that means something, right? It's the legacy of the individuals that have come before. It's the kids in the youth program who come over and they want to be these guys. They want to wear number 44. They want to wear number 2. And so, having these 2 guys in our program, anybody would be grateful to have them. I'll be honest with you. Not only are they great in the weight room, great at football, but they're great young men. So very, very proud of where they have come, how far they've come, right? Because they've come a very, very long way. And going into the season, I know that if they can continue to lead as they have, the rest of the team is going to fall in line to their leadership. So very beneficial. They're like having 2 coaches on the field. When you got a very small staff like we do, it's beneficial to have 2 individuals like this.
All right, Coach, I'm going to let them get a little more nervous here before I ask them questions. I'm going to start with you. 2-9 last year, your first year. There was growing pains, obviously, but successes along the way. Part 1 of the question is, what did you learn that first year? And part 2 is, you're moving into a brand new school. There's challenges with that. You're having to practice and lift off-site. Just what did you learn from year 1 and the challenges you've had to go through this summer in the transition?
So anybody that knows football will know, if they've seen the film or if you were at the game, there is a stark contrast between the team that showed up week 1 against Kip Pride and then going into Southside at the end of the season in the playoff, right? So the win-loss record might not have been where we wanted. It's definitely not what we wanted, obviously, right? But there are small victories within that, and there's also failures. And like I try to preach with these guys, listen, every failure, you're going to learn a lot about who you are as an individual. You're going to learn a lot about who you are as a team. I'm going to learn about who I am as a coach, right? And you can't get down on yourself. You can't just say, oh, well, that's life. That's not how it works in the real life. If you want something and you continue to fail, you got to continue to grind and work through that. And that's what we did as a team. And that momentum we carried into Southside at the end of the season. We were playing some really, really good football, right? We still have a lot to learn, and we understand that. But we took it week by week. We took it game by game, right? You have the long view of the season, but you have to understand you got to do and take care of what's in front of you, and that's what we did. These young men have really, really taken on to that. And so the challenges of moving into a new school, it is a lot, I'll tell you. But we know that ultimately, how blessed are we? We're getting a brand new school, right? Brand new weight room, brand new facilities. We're very, very much looking forward to that. Very blessed in Pamlico to have that. But at the end of the day, we talk about it doesn't matter where we're at, right? Do we have our helmet? We got our shoulder pads. We got our cleats. All right, we can get work in, right? We're on the middle school field. We're on the middle school softball field. We got the middle school weight room. We can lift, right? We got concrete out there. We got the parking lot. We can run, right? We got the field. We can get our football work in. Whatever it might be, we can't allow, challenges to be made up in front of us that aren't there. What are the barriers to it? Well, we got everything we need. Let's get it done. So, and we'll be in.
Jack Taylor said I have to ask you a really tough question. So, tell me your position, and tell me how much of a difference, if there is any, what you went through last year going into this year with all these problems.
I play linebacker, so middle linebacker. I've had the opportunity to I've been playing it since freshman year, and I kind of had a good mentor throughout the years to watch the past 4 years up until I got the opportunity to have the starting position. So being able to watch and grow as a player and as a person through other players to potentially build me into the linebacker that I am today was, not many people get to do it, and have the people that I got to watch play and who I wanted to play like. So, and with having the problems that this team has faced in the past couple of years, it happens, like it's life. But one of the things that we bring as a team is what are we going to do? We're going to get right back up, and we're going to keep going through it as it comes. And I think that just, like I said, as a team, it's just who we are. Friday night and play our best football. And at the end of the day, like the win-loss record might not be what we want it to be, but it doesn't really matter. Like we're going to keep fighting and play every down as the best of our ability.
Jacob Bennett, talk about the challenges of going into a new school this year. What have you seen from your perspective about not always being in your locker room that you've been in and having to negotiate some of those things?
Well, I mean, there's a lot more positive than negative, but I mean, changes always could be a good thing or a bad thing. But going to a new, better, bigger school, you usually get more opportunities because with maybe possibly more kids coming, you could possibly recruit more. You can get better facilities, better facility items, and just grow the program more. That's really what you want to do.
What do you like about this year's team that you've seen so far that makes you excited to start practice tomorrow?
Definitely the bond we've grown because, I mean, I've been with some of the same guys for 2 years I've been here so far and going on my 3rd year. Just the connection you have, it's like your own family. You can't beat that. Just knowing everybody is just really important.
All right, what makes a successful season for the Hurricanes this year?
Coach touched on this topic earlier. We had 4 seniors graduate last year, which some people they were key players, but some people might look at it as a negative. But I like personally to take advantage of any opportunity that I'm given. But I think that speaks as a whole team. We have a lot of recurring players playing the same position, and with going year 2 into the program and trying to build the program, it's just a great position that we're being put in to have the same people coming in, playing the same position, running the same plays, and just building that bond, like Jacob said, to know that what we have to do, what needs to be done, how it needs to be done. So coaches don't have to touch on the little things in practice or in the games that we got to tweak. They know that we can get it done how they want it to be done, and get to see the success with the same group of guys that we've had coming out and putting in the work in the offseason.
Great job, Coach. What do you like about this team? What are things you really feel like you have to work on before that first game?
What I like about the team is, I mean, they hit on it. You know, this is a brotherhood. We've gone through it together now. We talk about voluntary adversity, right? We put ourselves in very, very difficult situations Monday through Thursday, so that on Friday night, when things aren't going our way, look, we're prepared for that. All right, good. What are we going to do with it? What's the opportunity that's in front of us, right? One foot in front of the other, one play at a time, and, let's take it as it is. And these guys really have bought into that. And they're a very, very close group. We have accountability teams for the summer where, a couple of them were put into captain leadership positions, and it was their responsibility to make sure that the other guys on the team were there, right? And so they did it. They did a great job at that. We had, for the size of our school, we didn't have guys missing, right? They were there. We were getting our lift in, run in. And what I'm most looking forward to is, like they said, I've said, listen, last year we had a lot of growing up we had to do, right? We've done that. We've developed in the weight room. We've gained strength, gained confidence. We have guys that are, benching, squatting, and power cleaning more than they probably had ever done in the past, right? And so with those weight room numbers going up, with the times on the clock going down, and if we can just commit to continuing that one day at a time, one rep, one step, every play, every day, we're going to be just fine. I'm looking forward to it.
Bullard that are joining us. Oh, okay, you got a third. All right, introduce your players for me. Go ahead.
All right, so coming up, we got 3 of our seniors. Again, we have a fairly decent-sized senior class this year. So we have number 4, Brady Willard, number 11, Isaiah Meadows, and number 73, Amir Lowry. 2 of our skill guys, I'd love to say Amir is strictly lineman. However, when you're a tight-knit team like ours, you're liable to play any position. But Amir does a great job, whether it be on the line, tight end, linebacker, wherever we need him. So, yeah, that's the 3 guys we've been today.
Tell me about your numbers this year as you're trying to grow the program. Are you seeing an increase in there? And what's your number one thing that you're trying to accomplish here in these next couple of weeks of practice?
Yeah, so I mean, the biggest focus in general always is going to be numbers. I'm going to stay on the optimistic side of things. You know, I'm a creature of habit, as Coach Saxby said last year when it comes to summer workouts, and I'm older in my mind, I think, because I don't like change. But this year I changed it up. Traditionally, I've always gone June, July, you know, late in the afternoon, try and wait out the heat. Hopefully it don't rain. This year we went June only, 3 days a week. We went 8 to 10 in the morning, and we had better numbers for it. So I guess I got to change something. But no, so you know, numbers are better on average, and our max numbers that we saw. So what I'm really hoping is that carries over into the season. Biggest focus as we get into the season, obviously, is just going to be buttoning up details. Where last year, unfortunately, because of our low summer numbers, we didn't get all the teaching and all the installations in that we wanted. So unfortunately, we were kind of behind the ball. Once practice started this year, we're ahead of that curve. So, you know, now we get to say we're closer to where we should be, buttoning up details, cleaning, polishing, and getting ready.
All right, let's talk to the student athletes. Larry, let's talk about what you're seeing from this year's team. What do you like about this year's squad?
I like that we're having more numbers. We have a large senior class, so we have a lot of older guys helping out the younger people. And we have a lot of returning players, so it seems like we're more bonded as a team. And we know a lot, and we can help the younger guys get better.
All right, Isaiah, look, winning's important. Wins have been far and few between here. What kind of keeps this team motivated and hopefully trying to break through here this year?
I think from day to day, we all kind of encourage each other to win this year and win more and be better all together and just be a better team all around. From the past couple of years, we haven't won too much and done too good, but we all stay motivated day to day.
And tell me about playing at a small school like Jones Senior. Coach said you get to play all sorts of different positions. Just tell me the opportunities that you get at Jones Senior.
Well, with all the positions there are on the field, it's really nice to have all the options. I really can, because with my build, it's really difficult being on the line, as you can see. I like to think of myself as very versatile because of that.
That works. All right. But you are tall, and you can use your height to your advantage, right? Personally, what do you hope to accomplish on the field this year? Just what you want to accomplish as a team and as a player.
For my team, I really want to see less anger issues, a lot of less attitude. I really want to be just a big family on the field, because I feel like that's what makes us play better. And as a player, I really just want to uplift my other teammates and just do what I can to be, as a senior, the best instructor to younger players as I can.
Talk about Coach Perry. He's been here a few years now. Tell me about him. Pretend like he's not here. Tell me about him as a head coach. What do you like? Maybe what you don't like. It's okay. No one will tell him.
Coach Perry, he's been around for a while. He's been my middle school coach, my high school coach. I love him. But he's a really good coach. He's a really good coach all around. He's always encouraged us since we've been young to be better people and just honestly like a family figure for us. And I think we all really like him, and he's been there for us for a while.
Did you actually see him in a Carolina Hurricanes jersey acting like he was acting during the Stanley Cup Finals?
I actually have witnessed that. Yeah, just a little siren in the shop. It is also a little delayed, so that you don't know if the other team scored or not. But he does get very excited, and he was very happy his team won.
How those first couple of weeks of the season?
I think it will be very important because it can bring all of us together and show us what winning is like, and see how we all can improve and see how we got better from last year to this year, from summer to all the people coming back and just getting together as one big team.
What do you like about this year's squad, Coach, where you can say, okay, we're going to break through this year?
No, I think, and they're probably sick and tired of me saying it, but I feel like the buy-in is more so there this year than what it has in previous years. And again, every workout over summer, in the spring, like, the things we've seen in the weight room this past year, what Coach Griffin has really helped push on that front in the weight room with the guys, the buy-in, and again, every single one of these guys are 3-sport athletes. I mean, 2 of them are playing 2 sports at one time, with these 2 playing soccer and football, and then playing baseball, or running track and playing basketball in the winter. So I mean, to have 3-sport athletes in the school to help build what they can do, and I think a lot of coaches will agree, we would rather not see a specialized player. We much rather want that multi-sport athlete. But anyways, for me, I'm just excited to see the buy-in, the passion, and the drive to want to get better, to want to improve themselves.
Wait, you 2 are playing soccer while you're playing football?
Yeah.
I was going to wrap this up, but I need to investigate. How do you do that?
Well, I don't really go to practice much. I pretty know what I got to do. Soccer, I mean, I just kick the ball up and just chase people down, to be honest. But it's pretty fun. It gives me something else to do, and it gives me something to learn, because I've always really wanted to play, and this year was the first year that I ever played both.
If it comes down to you have to choose one or the other on a practice day, which one are you going?
Football for sure.
All right, Isaiah, same question. How do you do both?
I just go to football practice and I go play soccer. I don't really know how to do it.
Which is harder?
Football.
Which do you like better?
Football.
He passes the test. All right. All right. Thank you, guys. Jones Senior. Good luck this weekend. West Craven had quite the year last year, 12-2, 6-0 as they won the conference. Mike Twitchell decided to go fishing instead, running his Three Rivers shop down in his native Pamlico County now. And in stepped Dominic Guglielmo. We're all going to learn how to say it. All right, all together now. Guglielmo. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Guglielmo. We're going to practice that this year, okay? You are of Irish descent? Is that...
We're all Italians.
We're all Italians. Have you found good Italian food yet in Eastern North Carolina?
I've just been a real big Vera's loyalist lately, so I know what I'm doing.
All right, good. All right, you now know what you're getting with your team. Again, you didn't get to show up here until June. Thank you, Missouri. Drinking water through fire hoses is the old saying. Just how have you gotten acclimated so quickly to the situation you have here?
Again, back earlier, the community and the school really made it easy. The boys, they were only shy for a couple days, especially one of these up here. He didn't talk to me for the first couple days, now he doesn't stop talking. But, no, football's football, man. And Missouri football is different than North Carolina football. There's a lot of different nuances to it. When you come in and you're coaching a team that won 12 games the year before, things are a little easier. So that made my life a lot easier. We jumped right in. I got here on Friday, went to church on Sunday, went to practice on Monday. So, like I said, I think the best thing was we have a good group of kids, all 70 whatever of them. It took me a little bit to learn their names. I will say there was a lot of tape on helmets and me leaning over to coach and being like, hey, what's his name again? But now I finally know 99% of their names, and but they really made it easy for the kids.
First name you probably learned is Xavier Cuthbertson. Did you learn that one pretty quickly?
Oh yeah. Well, both of these guys, like Xavier and Ben, I remember when I came up for spring break, or I came out for spring break, Fernandez said, what 2 guys do you want? And I'm like, how about Xavier and Ben? I'm like, yeah, that's perfect, sure. But I quickly learned that these 2, along with a lot of other kids, are extremely talented and great young men. So, of course, I got to talk to Xavier quite often when I first got here because we were pumping out recruiting stuff early. And as soon as I got here, Ben was one of the first kids to come up and introduce himself. Ben, I mean, I think every coach in here would love to have an Xavier and Ben on their team.
Xavier Cuthbertson, one of the, 475 Cuthbertsons that exist in western Craven County. But you've made your own name for yourself. Very good junior year, lost a lot of your teammates who helped you accomplish that. Just how about this year of change? Tell me about you going through this year of change, of changing coaches, other teammates having to step up. Just your thoughts on this season so far as you're approaching it.
My thoughts on this season so far is that I feel like we really gonna pick up where we left off last year. You know, people might think that because we lost a couple people that it's gonna change, but if you ask me, I don't think it's gonna be nothing different. We still got the talent, we still got the drive, the determination, want to do it. So as long as everybody with me that want to do it, we're gonna do it.
Tell me about doing it in the classroom. Obviously, you have aspirations of playing college football. Tell me how your grades are, and tell me what colleges that you're interested in at this point and might be interested in you as well.
My grades, I'm going great right now. I just got all A's past the semester, so right now they got a 3.65, I want to say. Yeah, so as far as colleges, that's too much right now. I'm just playing right now as far as college. I really don't know. I'm just doing it just to do it.
You've been around a few years. You've been under the Friday Night Lights. You've been on the Blitz. Just how excited this is your last go-around for high school football. Just your thoughts going into this year and how excited you are, nervous. What is your thought process going into this final ride in your senior year?
I think that it's going to be great. You know, I feel like it's going to be. It went by really fast, for real. If you think about it, I really feel like I was just a freshman not too long ago, making plays on the Blitz for my first time. But it go by quick. You know, I'm gonna just cherish it as much as I can and just play football. That's what I'm here to do, is play football.
All right, Ben, you're here to play football too. Just talk about the changes that you've seen it from your angle of a different head coach, again, different players stepping up. Just how are you feeling going into this season for you?
Sir, I'm feeling great this season. I feel like not much has changed. I feel like we've been more consistent this year, and we all wanted more.
Tell me about Coach Gooch. What have you liked about him so far? Don't say anything bad about him. He's new. So tell me about the good things that you like about Coach Gooch so far.
I love him. I mean, we've been more consistent this year. He's keeping us on our toes, and it's like a fresh start for everybody.
You want to chime in on this?
You ask me, he's a hater. I love him. You know, he just came in. I already love him. You know, since he's been here, he helped me since he got here. First day he got here, he already pushed my name out to different coaches around everywhere, not just North Carolina, but anywhere. But yeah, he's still definitely a hater.
Upstate New York Italians. That's kind of the MO for them. So, but good. All right, Coach, what do you like about your team so far? As you get to know them offensively, defensively, any secret team this year?
I'm going to give you the stock answer I always give when someone asks me how we're going to look. We're just going to play Eagles football naturally, best brand we can. But it's encouraging. I mean, we have senior leadership who's been in the big games before. We have senior leadership who are academically strong, and senior leadership who bring people along, and that's huge. I think, and we don't have any big boys out here, but we're returning 4.5 starters up front, 5 guys that played a lot of football, running backs that played a lot of football. We have our leader on offense and defense. We have a quarterback that's going to grow into his own. We've kind of altered some things to make him more successful, but I think the biggest thing is we're not going to try to live in the shadow of last year. We're going to cast our own. And a lot of the young guys are stepping up. I think we have that mentality as coaches like, well, DJ Davis is a phenomenal football player. Well, that means that CJ has to be the next DJ. No, CJ has to be the best CJ. And that's what we're going to aim for this year, just be the best version of ourselves and take another step forward and continue the tradition that's been at West Craven since 1971.
What is your community telling you about your opener against a school called Havelock? Havelock?
They're telling me to go out there and play Eagles football. So I see a lot of guys that I talk to all the time out there, and this is a new situation for me because I've never coached at a county school where there's, Craven County Schools, which you have Havelock and New Bern, and there's always that just embedded rivalry because, we all share a board and a superintendent and a district, and again, we're just going to go out there and play the best version of our football, and played his football.
He's got it down. All right, West Craven Eagles, thank you, Coach. Brent Wooten, we've got Michael Gatlin, and Eli Mayer. Mayer. Not the only mayor in the room today. Oh, Mark. So I did screw it up. All right, Brent Wooten, introduce you guys. Tell me a little bit about who you have up here.
So first we have defensive end, left tackle, Lamar. Eli's kind of the epitome of Havelock football. Last year he started on defense for the first 4 games, and we needed him to move to offensive line. And no defensive lineman wants to play offensive line. They're usually pretty reluctant. But he ended up being second team all-conference in a very short stint there, and he really had a good summer and a good off-season. And he deserves to be up here as a rising senior because of the effort and commitment he makes to our program. Then we have Michael Gatlin, the last of the Gatlins. I really wish there were more coming through. Michael is the youngest brother of 3 that I've had the ability to be around, and the other 2 were great high school football players. And Michael played a lot of cornerback for us last year. This year, he's going to have the ball in his hands much more on offense because he's a really fast human being.
Last year, at the beginning of last season, I kept getting a lot of questions. What is wrong with Havelock, right? The head coach was part of the problem. But what did you learn last year? That's some of the rare adversity you guys have ever gone through. Now, look, the schedule was brutal, let's be honest. But what did you learn, and how were you able to turn that season around and not lose people off that ship?
Well, you can't really hide behind the schedule. There are a lot of teams in here that play tough schedules. I mean, if you look at New Bern's non-conference schedule this year, and who they're going to play, and we all have to rise to the top. And the biggest thing was understanding, like kind of what Coach Frazier always says in the weight room: you meet the standard. When you're doing a squat, meet the standard. When you're doing a rep in practice, you meet the standard. When you're getting ready for games, watching film, you meet the standard. And I think if you stick to what your program knows best and the consistency of what your program means, and you work hard at staying true to who you are, eventually things will turn around. And I think that's a testament to these young men and what they're able to do.
Eli, Coach talked about your adversity, moving around a little bit. Just talk about last year, what you learned, and how that's kind of helped you going into this last year.
Sorry, you're
What did you learn from last year that's helping you going into your senior year?
Really just to stick with your team and not let what the public says affect you at all, because there was a lot of outside influence last year with the community saying how just not having the team we did about 2 years ago, like all the seniors and everything, and how that would play during the season, how we wouldn't be as good. And I think this year we have a whole lot of upcoming talent, and my class isn't that big. Like we only have around 10 guys, but we all play, we're all good in our own way, we all specialize in something. And we have a whole lot of upcoming talent with sophomores and even juniors that are also going to be as good or just as good as some of us that are currently playing.
What motivated you this summer? Was it that last game against Croatan? Was there something else? What's motivated you this year to come back and be as strong as possible?
I'm really an old, big, friend guy. I like going out with my friends. I have a great bond with everybody on my team. And that kind of motivates me because I want to be the best version of myself for them, and I kind of push them to be the best version of themselves for the team as well. And yeah, Croatan was definitely something last year, so I'm looking forward to something like that again this year. But with us winning, of course.
Best to worst in the family?
Well, it got to be me. I'm about to say, I don't know. I'll go with Marshall's and then Marcus.
I know lots could be expected of you this year, stepping up in that role. Just talk about what you went through last year and how, I don't know if it's motivated you, but what's been motivating you going into this year to kind of, have the season that you want to have?
So last year, I know we didn't start off that strong, but I know for me, I struggled with confidence as DB because, it's like one-man island. But now, I'm getting that confidence back.
What do you think going into this season?
I think pretty good. We've been having some good camps. Good progress going on. Lifting has been going strong. And overall confidence of the team been going up.
Let's talk to the head coach about what you like about this year's team, what you have back overall, and the strength of your team, and what you really want to work on these next couple of weeks.
Well, I think the strength of the team is just the amount of time a lot of these young men played. I mean, we had 13 games, and a lot of guys got a lot of valuable time on the field. We returned 4 out of 5 starters on the offensive line. I think our receiving core, although it's going to be manned by a couple of JV guys coming up and a couple other guys that didn't play offense a lot last year, I think you'll see a lot more diversity on offense. And you lose guys like Jaden Howard and Zakeem Patillo, they were kind of the focal point. But I think we're going to have a much more balanced offense this year. And I think, the defensive side of the ball, our linebacking core is pretty strong. We returned 2 of the top tacklers in the conference, in Andrew Williams and DQ Dunlap. So we got some guys that can make some things happen.
Is your quarterback situation settled going in this year? I know you had a change midway through the season. What's your quarterback situation look like?
Yeah, right now we're going to go with Caleb Montaigne. He finished last year very strong. Ended up, leading us through the conference into the playoffs. Andrew Williams will have packages where he'll step in there. We got a young man on JV that he might not be ready at the beginning of the year, but we got a freshman that's going to push him too. And you can never have enough quarterbacks in your quarterback room. I don't think any coach has ever said I had too many, so I'm happy with where we're at right now.
All right, let's talk about your opener real quick. Big rivalry game right off the bat. New head coach on the other side. Is advantages, disadvantages? What do you think about going into this rivalry game with not only an unfamiliar face, but he ain't from around here,
I think we're going to play Rams football. The fact of the matter is, like you said, since 1971, I'm from Pitt County, but even in high school, West Craven was always around. They have a rich tradition. New Bern has a rich tradition. We have a rich tradition. I think that's what makes this county so great. It is kind of interesting trying to figure out what type of offensive scheme you'll see and what type of defensive scheme you'll see. But, we'll look at that when we get to scrimmages. Right now, we're trying to make sure Havelock's ready to go, and we'll start focusing on West Craven when we get to the scrimmages.
All right, Havelock Rams. Expecting to get the picture. We have Terrence Saxby. He's being joined by Rylan Copeland. And the Duke, Carvin Magwood. All right, Coach, tell me a couple of things about your players that we don't know, which we know everything about Duke at this point, but what don't we know about them?
What you might not know, I don't know, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty close. Carvin's probably the only 2-time Pigskin preview, because when I was hired, 3? But yeah, when I first got hired, late July, I came here, I think we practiced one day, and we showed up to the Pigskin preview that night, and I didn't have any kids with me, so I think his mom called him and his brother up, and I didn't even know their names at that point in time. I knew they were standing on the stage with me at that point. But yeah, we have Carvin Magwood, who's 4th time. This will be the 4th time around with us, starting from day 1 with me at the running back spot, and then we have junior wide receiver Rylan Copeland. These 2 have basically been strong leaders for us since we've kind of got back going. Carvin is really our vocal leader. He's the one that people look to for that energy, and Rylan's really, he's coming out of his shell. We're slowly but surely, but he's the one that's he kind of leads by example. He does everything. There's no complaining, at least not openly complaining, but I'm pretty sure under his breath or in his brain he's probably saying a lot of things about what we do. But he leads by example. He's always there, always doing things the right way, and never have to question him in that term. So.
All right, let's start with Duke. 4th year. Are you senior finally? Oh my gosh. All right. What I really want to know is, you play volleyball?
Yes, I do.
Tell me about playing volleyball.
All right, let me walk y'all through it, man. Shout out to my Dukes. She sent me in, and I was like, I got nothing better to do. Like, I was bored, and like the day of the workout, I was like, I literally had nothing better to do it. And I was supposed to go hit the field. I hit the field, and it was in there. I was like, all right, let me go in there. Went up, first hit the ceiling. So I was like, all right, hold on. But hey, I kept on doing it. Shout out to Coach Miller and Coach Daniel and Coach Lowe. We went from 4-12 the first season to a 3rd round exit, and then we win in conference the 2nd season. And like, I truly volleyball has taught me really just better body control. We're playing sports and everything. It taught me how to control like the force I put into the ground, how I jump, and things like that. So it really just improved my athleticism.
Rylan, will you play volleyball?
Thinking about it.
Oh, all right. Well, we could have it used to be track and football, and they won those state championships, right? Now we could have a volleyball New Bern connection. That's pretty cool. All right, talk about this year's team a little bit, Rylan. Lost your quarterback who can chuck it around a lot. Tell me about what you're seeing from your receiver standpoint of what the offense is going to look like this year.
Well, I think we have two great quarterbacks coming up. I believe in them, and I think our offense is going to be great this year. We're very fast-paced, and I think that we're going to have a great season.
Do you think Duke could throw the ball if they have an option for you?
He was actually my quarterback in 7th grade. So.
There you go, Coach. So we could have some packages in there. Senior year, Duke. Man, it's now this is your team. Not that it hasn't ever been your team, but now this is really your team. Just your thoughts on going into your final year and being the team leader even more than ever.
That's really like, since my freshman year, I've always been told like I have to grow like physically, but this year I really had to grow mentally. I really had to just work on how would I like talk to my team, because like my freshman year, I was coming behind a state championship team where I didn't really have to say much, I just had to play. Sophomore year, I was still around the state championship players, and then last year I was able to be like right behind Pop, Kai Sean, Zion, Mari, all of them. But this year, like I really like took all that in, soaked in all the things that I liked them, but also I didn't like, and added it to what I would do with my team and things like that. I really feel like this year I just really want to work on just like being more disciplined, being more of a family. Like I didn't like that last year that we weren't as close as I wanted us to be. But I feel like this year, like we definitely just like, we may not be the fastest, we may not be the strongest, we may not be the biggest, but we'll be the most disciplined. We're gonna work hard, we're gonna excel.
I've asked some pretty dumb questions tonight, but this might be the dumbest. Are you ready to carry the load this year when you break in a new quarterback?
Yes, I'm ready to win Gatorade Player of the Year.
All right, Coach, your running back doesn't lack in confidence, and that's a good thing. What do you like about this year's team? Because you did lose a couple of big stars off of last year's squad.
First, you encourage him to throw a pass. I got to deal with that. But he kind of said it, and that's kind of been our pitch all year long. We understand playing at the 7A level, especially when you get into the Raleigh, into the Charlotte schools, but you kind of see the difference in sometimes the size of these other schools. And we realize that we're going to have to be gritty. We're going to have to fight tooth and nail. And the one thing I can say about what they've done this summer, and they've really put in the work. We actually, we try our hardest to break them in the summer just to see, who's going to go down that foxhole with us. And my coaches do a great job of challenging the kids. The kids do a great job of challenging each other. They're a lot more disciplined group in that avenue. And these guys have been in some really, really big football games, and we kind of trust them going into this season. They've really done a super job, and we're just, head over heels ready to get going.
McCormick the last couple of years, and he's been a nice dual threat for you. Now, where do you turn this year? I know you got a little quarterback competition going on at camp.
We have two kids that we really feel comfortable with. They're different in styles. One will wow you with his arm. The other one's just kind of a technician. He doesn't wow you, but he does everything right a lot of the time. And it's, but they're both capable of playing, and they probably both will play. It is a true competition, which is something that I haven't had in a long time as far as quarterback play. But the good thing is they have experienced players that they can kind of lean on, to help them, because Rollins he's returning the leader in receptions. Carver's been our leading rusher for the past 3 years. And so we're going to just lean on them to help those guys out. And we feel comfortable with if either one of them had to play tomorrow, I would feel comfortable with either one actually playing in the game. But they both present, kind of their different styles in some regard, but they both are really, really good kids, and they're going to play well for us.
Carvin talked about a little bit about trying to get closer again this year as a head coach. You know, sometimes you can't control those things, but what have you tried to do to kind of re-bond this team as a head coach?
Honestly, they have really taken on that role. You know, we put things in place where we try to do certain things, you know, as far as bringing them together. We'll have a unity night with the players. We do a lot of different things like that, community events we try to put together. We're doing, you know, some, drew a blank, but I know we're getting ready to do a community service event together. And I gotta get help from the wife right now. Yeah, but you know, but they do a great job of just coming together as a unit. You know what I mean? And they've kind of taken that role of this is their team, you know, and they play a big part in that aspect. And then we're all together, you know, it's one big family, you know, that we trust each other, coaches, you know, so I don't know, it's kind of great to have kids like this who kind of lead your program because they do things the right way.
Well, Havelock and West Craven will be battling on the opening night. You get New Hanover out of Wilmington. Good test for you right off the bat from one of the bigger schools in the East.
Yeah, we purposely made our schedule the way it was. You know, anytime I start thinking about scheduling the team, I always go to Coach McCorney, my defensive coordinator, and I say, what do you think about playing them? First thing he says, let's do it. You know, it doesn't, I could say, you know, next week the Packers are open. Let's go. So, but he's always game to play anybody, and the kids are the same way. You know, we feel like, you know, we give ourselves a chance every week. You know, I got a good staff. I'm supported by them. I'm supported by a good administrative team that they allow us to do our job, and we always feel like we have a chance.
You should really pull the reins off that McCormick guy and let him coach a little bit, you know, and let him get out there and show his personality a little bit. Yeah. All right, New Bern Bears, everybody. They're high hopes for this upcoming season. Look, we're going to have a lot more high school football coverage on News 12. The first Blitz is August 21st. We actually have 8-man play the week before, so if you're looking for some football, there's actually going to be some 8-man games on August 14th. Scrimmages going around everywhere. Luke Schwartz in the back of the room. Sports with Schwartz is his new Facebook page. You guys can follow that, but we're going to have a lot of high school coverage leading up to the season. We're really excited about what's going to be happening around Eastern North Carolina. A lot of media days are coming up. So we'll hear the predicted finishes, and we can just learn a lot more about this time of year. Because
new Blitz set.
Yeah, oh yeah, we got, well, it's not a new Blitz set, but we've made some changes, right? We've kind of changed around our offense a little bit. So yeah, so that's it. Walt's back up here to roll things out here for us. But thank you guys once again. It always makes it fun when you guys come out and join us to kick off the start of the season.
Thank you, Brian. How do you say it? The Blitz.
Blitz.
News Channel 12.
Oh, yeah.
Blitz. Yeah, there we go. Well, thank y'all again. Thank Brian North for doing this 5 years in a row. Our moderator, awesome job. Thank everybody for coming out. Our sponsors of this event, our student athletes, coaches, administrators. Thank y'all, Rotary Club of New Bern. We'll see you in a few weeks, Friday night in the stands, and we'll see you right here next year. Thank y'all. Good night.